If you click on View while you're in the Browse module, and you come down to Thumbnail View Options, this is going to give you a few options to modify the way that your thumbnails look here. At the top here, we have the appearance. If you want this to be small, if you click on that, it's going to make the text and the rating icons really small and fine-tuned. Now, if you want your thumbnails to kind of fill up the entire screen, if you click this drop down where it says fitting, you can click on fill, and now you can modify this and it makes a perfect square for all of your images. I personally like it to be set to fit. And then if you are into the Lightroom look and you want it to be a little bit lighter in the background, then you can set your theme to light, and that's pretty cool. Now, where you can really modify this to fit your own personal style and needs is down here with the labels. So I personally like rating and labels, but maybe you don't care to have that. Maybe you would prefer to see the capture date. So if you select that in the upper right, let me make this larger, or I'm sorry, upper left, you can see that it has changed the selection or the rating to the capture date. And you can change this to maybe say the folder that it's in. So if you're navigating files and you really want to be able to see the folder, you can do that. You can also move your like, which I personally like on the right hand side, but maybe you want that to be on the left. This is where you can really get customizable, and there's even more information down here. And the last one that I'll note here is exposure. This is actually pretty handy if you want to get a quick glance at what exposure you use to capture an image. Just note that this is not showing your ISO, it's only showing your aperture and your shutter speed. And then the bottom piece here, you can also show or hide the rotate arrows. If you like to have the ability, as you can see, I have the left to right rotate arrows here. If you like to have the ability to rotate your arrows, then I recommend you leave that on. You can also show and hide edit badges. That's these little things that pop up in the corner. Those are personally very handy if you want to see which photos have been edited. And the show folder previews, if you see here, I have a folder. It's showing a preview of the image, or at least one of the images inside of there. If I uncheck that, it goes away, and if I check it, it shows back up. If you want to see all of the images inside of your subfolders alongside all of the other images, then all you have to do is click on View and then hit Show Subfolder Contents. What it's going to do is take all of your images out of subfolders and put them alongside the rest of the images. So as you scroll through, you can see all of the images at once. This could be very helpful if you have to separate your JPEGs from your RAWs, but you want to see the JPEG next to the RAW, like I've done in the past. And then of course, if you no longer want to see all of the photos at once, you can click on View and show or put them back into the subfolder, and they're back into the subfolder. Many of us probably think that the way the presets show up in the left pane is the way that they have to stay, but you actually don't have to leave them this way. If you click on View and you come down to Preset Browser, you can actually change this to a list view, and now you get a text list. But if you're visual, then maybe you don't like that, so we'll change it back to thumbnail. The other thing that you can do is you can change how many columns you have. So if you like a long, never-ending column of scrolling, or maybe you only have a little bit of real estate on your screen, this may be a good option. The other thing that you can do is come back to View, Preset Browser, and then turn it to 3 columns. Now, what I will note with the 3 column, you lose the text of what category you're actually navigating to. But when you click on one of these, you get a thumbnail view. Now, you'll get the thumbnail view inside of the actual folder, no matter if you are on thumbnail or list, because it actually wants to show you the preset. So keep that in mind. And of course, you can still heart the ones that you really like, and you'll have your favorites there. A lot of people fail to realize that you can actually stack multiple presets on one image without replacing your effects that you have applied. In order to do that, I'm just going to apply CN number 1 to this image. You're going to see all of these effects pop up over here. And I'm just going to take a second to rename these particular effects. So now that I have my effects renamed, I'm going to add CN number 5 by right-clicking on the preset and then clicking Insert Preset. If you click Use Preset, it's going to replace all of those filters that I already have applied. But if I click Insert, it's going to apply these presets onto the image in between the last preset that I have selected. So pay attention to that. But if I rename these now CN5, I'm just going to move this CN1 back to the top. So now you can see I have CN1 and CN5 applied to my image. Now let's say I want to add CN13 to this image. I can right click on CN13 and hit Insert Preset, give it a second to think. And now I'm just going to minimize these so you can see that I have CN1, CN5, and then this would be CN13. This is a really cool way that you can apply multiple effects to your images and get a very unique look. The next tip that I have is for all of my graphic designers out there that use photos to create their designs. Inside of ON1, if you click on File, you can actually do a new canvas, and this is going to give you a blank workspace. You can title this whatever you want it to be, my DESIGN, because I can't spell sometimes, and I'm just going to hit OK. And what it's going to do is load a blank canvas, and now I have an option to either hit the plus icon and start adding my images manually, like so, add as layer, or I could have just started with a color layer. So I can put a red layer, hit OK, and I'll pull this underneath. And you can see how you have the ability to start with whatever dimensions you want, because in that new canvas pane, you had the ability to change your dimensions. I just kept the default. If you found value in today's video, smash the like button. If you want to see more content centered around ON1 Photo Raw, then click the video on the screen. And until the next time, I want you to stay inspired and keep creating. Peace.